There are faces that never grow old. Despite the passage of time and changing aesthetic trends, they remain symbols of allure, style, and true masculinity. From the piercing gaze of Clint Eastwood, the mysterious smile of Robert Redford, to the rugged charm of Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis, each of them is not just a screen heartthrob, but also a cultural icon of their time. In today's video, let's take a look back at the 20 most handsome actors of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Those who have melted the hearts of millions of viewers and still make the world turn its head even as 2025 approaches. This is not just a journey through beauty, but a meeting between the past and the present, between the glory of Hollywood's golden age and the enduring legacy of living legends. Are you ready to turn back time? Do you think this list has enough quality? If you agree, leave a 1 in the comments. If you disagree, leave a 0. Don't forget to like and share the video to spread these silver screen legends to more people. Let's start with one of Hollywood's living legends, Tom Hanks. My mother used to say that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. When it comes to silver screen actors who have captivated audiences across generations, Tom Hanks is always an essential name. Not the typical handsome, brooding, or rebellious type, Tom possesses a unique charm, gentle, friendly, and incredibly likable. It is this closeness, combined with his exceptional acting talent, that has made him a cinematic icon for over 4 decades. He began his career in the late 1970s, starting with supporting roles on television, and gradually captivated audiences with his genuine and emotional performances. Big, 1988, marked his first major turning point, elevating Tom to A-list status. In the role of a 12-year-old boy trapped in an adult's body, Tom made the audience both laugh and cry. But that was just the beginning. Throughout the 1990s, the golden age of American cinema, Tom Hanks continuously made his mark with iconic roles such as Philadelphia, 1993, Forrest Gump, 1994, Apollo 13, 1995, and Saving Private Ryan, 1998. Tom is not only handsome in his own unique way, but also amazes audiences with the depth of his performances, always conveying humanity and subtlety in each character. Even at the peak of his fame, he has maintained sincerity, humility, and simplicity, qualities that are very rare in the entertainment industry. Tom Hanks is a model of a star who lives modestly, staying away from the glitz and glamour, and has always maintained a respectable image in the eyes of the public. Today, at the age of 69, Tom Hanks continues to be active in the arts. Although his hair has turned gray and his face shows the marks of time, that gaze, the gaze that once made the whole world believe in love and kindness, remains as intact as it was on the first day. Tom Hanks is a living testament to timeless beauty, both in appearance and in spirit. Brad Pitt, you are indeed that mysterious box of chocolates, filled with surprises, charm, and many layers of emotion. Not only famous for his handsome appearance, Brad also possesses a unique aura that is both wild and rebellious, yet cold and profound. His beauty is likened to a perfect blend of a young James Dean and Robert Redford, a living legend of Hollywood. Brad Pitt began his film career in the late 1980s, but it was not until his role as the charming cowboy J.D. in Thelma and Louise, 1991, that he truly exploded onto the scene. Although he appeared for only a few brief moments, that gaze, that smile, that messy blonde hair drove the whole world crazy. Just a moment, but enough for Brad to become the masculine icon of Hollywood in the 90s. Shortly after Brad Pitt made his mark in classic films such as Legends of the Fall, 1994, C'est Serein, 1995, and especially Fight Club 1999, a gritty, complex, and haunting role. Unlike many of his contemporaries who rely solely on their looks, Brad has always been eager to break the mold, challenging himself with unique and difficult roles. From cold-blooded assassins to suave gentlemen and even to mad warriors, Brad Pitt continuously redefines himself on the big screen. This is what keeps him fresh, surprising, and captivating in the eyes of his fans, not only among women, but also in the eyes of discerning film critics. In real life, Brad Pitt is also a media focal point with his famous relationships with Gwyneth Paltrow, Jennifer Aniston, and especially Angelina Jolie, forming one of the most powerful and attention-grabbing couples in the world. But above all the noise, Brad has maintained a steady presence embodying the image of a mature gentleman, rich in emotion and artistic flair. Today, at the age of 61, Brad Pitt remains one of the most attractive actors on the planet. No longer the boy with messy blonde hair from the 1990s, Brad now possesses a seasoned masculine and profound beauty. With his short-cropped hair, silver-streaked beard, and eyes that conceal a quiet sadness, he is the embodiment of a man who has lived, endured suffering, loved, and still captivates those around him. Johnny Depp is the embodiment of challenging, haunting, and mysterious beauty. He does not pursue the image of a suave gentleman or an ordinary, lovesick boy. Instead, Johnny is a dreamer, a madman and artist, unique in his own way. He made his debut with his first role in A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984, but it wasn't until the hit television series 21 Jump Street in the late 1980s that Johnny became widely known. With his angular face-distant gaze and tousled hair, Johnny Depp quickly became a symbol of modern rebellion. The 1990s marked a peak in his career with his eccentric yet captivating acting style. He has never shied away from transforming into quirky characters: Edward Scissorhands 1990, The Lonely Man with Scissors for Hands Gilbert Grape 1993, or Donnie Brasco 1997. Each role a poignant slice of humanity. Johnny chooses roles for the emotion, not for the fame. His characters all have cracks carrying a loneliness that only those who have experienced it can understand. It wasn't until the early 2000s that the character Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series elevated him to global superstar status. With his performance that is half comedic and half eccentric, he captivated hundreds of millions and created one of the most iconic characters on screen. In real life, Johnny Depp is a multi-talented artist, a musician, painter, and actor. However, he has also experienced many scandals, breakdowns, and lawsuits. Yet through it all, those deep eyes still captivate people. At the age of 62, Johnny lives more quietly and introspectively, but he still retains his essence: rebellious, emotionally rich, and always true to himself. Al Pacino is a special case. He does not possess the handsome looks typical of Hollywood standards, but his charisma is undeniable. Empowered by his sharp eyes, strong presence, and intense acting style, Al Pacino can silence an entire auditorium with just a glance. Born in New York, he began his career with a small role in Me, Natalie, 1969. But just 3 years later, Pacino shook the film industry with his role as Michael Corleone in The Godfather, 1972. At the age of 32, his chiseled face and cold gaze captivated millions of viewers. This iconic role earned him his first Oscar nomination and is still regarded as one of the greatest performances in film history. From the 1970s to the 1990s, Pacino continued to win over audiences with a series of standout films such as Serpico 1973, Dog Day Afternoon 1975, Scarface 1983, and Carlito's Way 1993. He became a symbol of complex and contradictory masculinity. Imperfect, yet always captivating. In 1993, after 7 nominations, Al Pacino finally won the Oscar for his role as Lieutenant Frank Slade in Scent of a Woman, a performance rich in emotional depth and iconic significance. It was a moment that solidified his status as a living legend in the eyes of the public. At 85 years old, Al Pacino continues to dedicate himself. Most recently, he appeared in the film The Irishman 2019, once again affirming his timeless talent. Despite having gone through many relationships and having 3 children, he has never been married. His appearance, gray hair, a face marked by time, still exudes a solemn dignity that commands respect. He embodies a beauty that is unrestrained, not flashy, but radiant from the depths of his soul. In a cinematic world constantly revolving around new trends, Robert Redford is one of the few stars who has maintained a lasting status, not only due to his appearance, but also because of his artistic mindset and sharp intellect. He has never been the flashy or rebellious type, but rather a symbol of composure, elegance, and sophistication. With his sandy blonde hair, naturally tanned skin, high nose, and deep-set eyes, Redford was once considered the ideal model of the American gentleman from the late 1960s to the mid-1990s. Starting from the stage, he quickly shone after starring alongside Paul Newman in the classic film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969. The film not only achieved tremendous success with over $100 million in revenue, but also made Redford a global cinema icon. In the 1970s, he continued to assert his prowess through a series of politically and socially charged films, such as The Candidate 1972, 3 Days of the Condor 1975, and especially All the President's Men 1976. These roles require complex inner emotions and psychological depth, qualities that Redford has always excelled in. From 1973 to 1977, he was on the list of the top 10 highest-grossing actors in the United States. In 1980, Redford surprised all of Hollywood by shifting to directing with the film Ordinary People, which won 4 Oscars, including Best Director for himself. This was a significant milestone demonstrating Redford's comprehensive talent, not only in front of the camera, but also behind the scenes. In addition to his role as an actor, Robert Redford is also known as a culturally influential activist. He is the founder of the Sundance Institute and the Sundance Film Festival, 2 organizations that play a crucial role in nurturing and developing the independent film movement in the U.S. These initiatives have paved the way for hundreds of young filmmakers, bringing fresh and powerful cinematic voices to the world. Redford's influence extends far beyond acting, becoming a symbol of persistent creativity and unwavering dedication to the 7th art. There are many talented actors, but Clint Eastwood is one of the few who has become an icon of an entire nation. He is not only a silver screen icon associated with the image of the unyielding cowboy, but also an outstanding director, a steadfast producer, and a man who has redefined masculine beauty. Silent, stoic, principled, and never one to give up. Born in San Francisco, Clint Eastwood spent his youth during the Great Depression working as a mechanic, a lifeguard, and a soldier before stepping into the film industry. His career blossomed in the 1960s with the role of the man with no name in Sergio Leone's classic Western trilogy A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, for a few dollars more. 1965 and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. All three films were commercially successful and received high praise from critics, making Eastwood the iconic American cowboy known worldwide. His appeal did not come from polished dialogue or a refined appearance, but from his sharp eyes, chiseled face, and commanding calmness. These factors have created the archetype of an anti-hero, a flawed hero who always stands for justice. From the 1970s to the 1990s, Eastwood solidified his A-list status with the role of Inspector Harry Callahan in the Dirty Harry series starting in 1971. This character became an icon of American action cinema with the legendary line, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" Not stopping at acting, Clint Eastwood transitioned to directing and reached creative heights with Unforgiven 1992. A haunting, profound Western film about humanity that won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. He continued to direct a series of critically acclaimed films, including Mystic River 2003, 6 Oscar nominations, $1 Million Baby 2004, 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director Gran Torino 2008, grossing over $270 million on a budget of only $33 million. American Sniper 2014 grossed over $547 million worldwide and became the highest-grossing film of his career to date. As of 2023, Clint Eastwood has appeared in over 70 films as an actor, directed more than 40 films, won 4 Oscars, and remains one of the few living legends still active after more than 60 years in the industry. Even at the age of 95, he shows no signs of slowing down. His most recent film, Cry Macho 2021, marks the 50th time he has taken on a leading role in a theatrical film while also directing. Although he is no longer the action star he was in his youth, he still exudes a calm, seasoned presence and proves that resilience never goes out of style. Long before the term heartthrob became a cultural trend, Sean Connery, a working-class man from Scotland, was the undeniable embodiment of masculinity on screen. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches with a muscular build, a distinctive deep voice, and piercing eyes, Connery was the first and arguably the most perfect incarnation of James Bond, a suave, sophisticated, and dangerous spy kind, yet always intimidating. No one else could combine charm, ruggedness, and coldness like he did. Born in 1930 in Edinburgh, Sean Connery began his film career in the 1950s. However, it was not until 1962 with the film Dr. No, the first installment of the James Bond series, that he truly exploded onto the international scene. The role of James Bond immediately made Connery a global phenomenon. Following this unexpected success, he continued to portray 007 in 6 official films, including From Russia with Love, 1963, Goldfinger 1964, and You Only Live Twice 1967, along with the independent film Never Say Never Again, 1983. In the eyes of millions, Connery is not just James Bond. He is James Bond. However, Sean Connery did not accept being confined to a single role. He actively sought out complex, mature, and deeper characters. Starting in the 1970s, Connery demonstrated a diverse and convincing ability to transform with each role. From the image of a hero to intellectual characters, he continually reinvented himself, proving that true talent is not limited to a mold. In The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, Connery not only conveyed grandeur, but also depicted the cultural depth and tragedy of the character. In 1986, In the Name of the Rose, he played an intelligent and sharp detective monk, creating one of his most iconic roles. The pinnacle came in 1987 with his role as Officer Malone in The Untouchables, a performance that earned him his first Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. A clear testament to his ability to touch the emotions of audiences at all levels. Not only stopping at dramatic films, Sean Connery continued to solidify his name in the adventure and action genre. In 1989, he played the role of Indiana Jones's father in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, creating a perfect duo with Harrison Ford. Although he was only 12 years older than Ford, the age difference did not diminish the appeal of the performance. By 1996, at the age of 66, Connery still maintained his peak performance when he appeared in the blockbuster action film The Rock, starring alongside Nicolas Cage. The ability to maintain appeal over several decades is a rare feat. After more than 50 years of continuous artistic activity, Sean Connery officially retired from the big screen with the film The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, 2003. Although the film did not achieve resounding success, it was a formal farewell from a legend. He stepped away from the spotlight quietly, but his reputation and influence continue to resonate in the hearts of audiences worldwide. Few can maintain the respect and admiration that Connery has garnered. He is a rare role model in the world of cinema. Sean Connery passed away in 2020 in the Bahamas, closing a magnificent life at the age of 90. With his dignified demeanor, distinctive voice, and irreplaceable presence, he left behind an immense legacy, not only in the Bond film series, but also in the history of modern cinema. He was a symbol of grace combined with strength, intellect, alongside charisma. Throughout the years, Connery not only lived his roles, but also inspired many generations of actors to come. An irreplaceable James Bond forever. If you love these movie legends and want to explore more interesting stories about silver screen stars, don't forget to hit like to support us, leave a comment about your favorite actor or someone you think deserves to be on the list, and don't forget to share this video with friends and family, to reminisce together about the faces that made film history while also experiencing their timeless appeal. During the golden age of American action films from the late 1980s to the 1990s, Bruce Willis was not only a box office guarantee, but also a symbol of a rugged yet deadly charm of masculinity. He did not have the polished appearance of classic Hollywood heartthrobs, nor did he embody the style of a refined gentleman. However, it was his decisive attitude, calm demeanor, toughness, and the gaze that hinted at something elusive that captivated audiences. Willis began his career with little success, taking on minor roles in television and theater. However, the turning point came with his role as Detective David Addison in the hit television series Moonlighting. With his clever and witty performance along with his naturally masculine appearance, Bruce quickly made a mark and won a Golden Globe in 1987, paving the way for his entry into film. The big leap came in 1988 when he played John McClane in Die Hard, a regular solitary man thrust into an unavoidable situation. Without armor, without superpowers, only the will to survive and an indomitable spirit. Die Hard not only achieved tremendous success with a global box office of $140 million, but also created a completely new model of cinematic hero. The role of John McClane elevated Willis to A-list status, and Die Hard became one of the greatest action franchises, with a total revenue of over $1.44 billion across 5 films. Not stopping there from the late 1980s to the late 1990s, Bruce continued to impress in blockbuster films such as Pulp Fiction, 1994, 12 Monkeys, 1995, The Fifth Element, 1997, Armageddon, 1998, and The Sixth Sense, 1999. Willis is beloved for his versatility. He can be a fearless hero, but he can also be a man with deep inner thoughts in art films. He is one of the few actors who balances between blockbuster hits and quality independent films. Unfortunately, in 2022, Bruce Willis announced his retirement after being diagnosed with aphasia, a condition that severely affects speech and communication abilities. Although he is no longer in front of the camera, the legacy he leaves behind will forever live on in the hearts of his fans. A silver screen hero, strong, quiet, and deeply human. Born in New York to an Italian-American family, Sylvester Stallone faced adversity early on. A birth complication left the left side of his face slightly paralyzed, resulting in his distinctive voice and several limitations in acting. Rejected for hundreds of roles, Stallone never gave up on his dream of becoming a movie star. By 1976, Stallone had completed the script for Rocky in just 3 days and was determined not to sell it unless he could play the lead role. After several negotiations, United Artists agreed to produce the film with a modest budget of around $1 million USD. No one could have imagined that Rocky would become a global phenomenon, grossing over $225 million, equivalent to over $1 billion today after adjusting for inflation. Not only was it a commercial success, but Rocky also won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The image of the poor boxer from Philadelphia, full of determination to rise from adversity, is not just a story on film, but also a reflection of Stallone himself. Rocky Balboa became an American cultural icon, a story of overcoming oneself that resonates with the entire world. After the success of Rocky, Stallone continued to make his mark with the Rambo action film series, portraying a solitary, ruthless, yet deeply humane war veteran. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, he was one of the trinity of action films alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis. What makes Stallone special is his indomitable will. He constantly reinvents himself from actor to director, screenwriter, and producer. In 2006, he made a comeback in Rocky Balboa, and by 2015, his role in Creed earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, nearly 40 years after his first role as Rocky. Despite facing many ups and downs, Sylvester Stallone continues to inspire. At the age of 78, he remains involved in new action projects and maintains the image of a man who never gives up. For Stallone, nothing is impossible if you dare to believe and dare to fight. Not stopping there, the brand continued to revive through the Creed series starting in 2015, where Stallone passed the torch to a new generation. At the same time, Stallone created another action icon, John Rambo. Beginning with First Blood, 1982, this tormented Vietnam veteran character quickly became a global symbol of resilience and solitude. The 5 Rambo films collectively grossed over $819 million. Not only acting, Stallone is also a screenwriter and director for many of his own works. In addition to 2 major film series, he has also appeared in many successful action films such as Cliffhanger 1993, $255 million Demolition Man 1993, Cop Land 1997, and especially the series The Expendables 2010-2014, where he gathered a legendary action team and grossed over $804 million worldwide. In 2015, Stallone returned as Rocky in Creed. This time, he was no longer a boxing champion, but an experienced aging trainer. The role earned him a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, affirming a depth of character that surpasses the old action hero mold. As of 2023, the total box office revenue of films featuring Stallone has exceeded $5.5 billion. He remains one of the very few stars who have maintained their status after more than 50 years in the industry, embodying not just strength, but also an unwavering determination. As the eldest son of the legend Martin Sheen and the brother of Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez could easily use his family's fame to advance his career. However, he chose to take a different path, not using the Sheen surname and building his name through his own talent. Emilio started his career very early, and in 1983, at just 21 years old, he caught attention with his leading role in The Outsiders, alongside rising young stars like Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, and Matt Dillon. His prominence quickly made him a part of the Brat Pack, the young talents who dominated American teen films in the 1980s. Estevez continues to assert himself through notable works such as Repo Man, 1984, The Breakfast Club, 1985, St. Elmo's Fire, 1985, and Young Guns, 1988. He is not only a handsome face, but also demonstrates the ability to delve into the inner lives of characters, especially young people torn between ideals and reality. However, Emilio does not allow himself to be confined to the image of a rebellious youth. From an early age, he transitioned to writing scripts and directing. In 1996, he released The War at Home, a poignant film about the psychological aftermath of war, which received acclaim from critics. In 2006, he directed the film Bobby, centered around Robert F. Kennedy, which was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Drama. Emilio gradually stepped away from the spotlight, choosing to live quietly and create independently, dedicating time to personal projects instead of the noisy Hollywood scene. In 2021, Emilio made a comeback as Gordon Bombay in the series The Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney+. Once again, he proved himself to be a true artist, needing neither scandal nor spotlight to shine, just a belief in art and perseverance. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, as Hollywood action films gradually became dominated by CGI effects, Jason Statham emerged as a breath of fresh air, bringing a raw and authentic appeal with his muscular charm, instinct, and realism in every frame. With his shaved head, steely gaze, fit physique, and distinctive British accent, Statham doesn't need superpowers to shine. He embodies a type of masculinity that is quiet, yet explosive, modern, yet deeply classic. Starting as a national diving athlete, Statham caught the eye of director Guy Ritchie and made his debut in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, 1998. This was followed by Snatch 2000 films that laid the foundation for the British crime style, cool, ironic, and sharp. Success came with the Transporter series, where Jason drove wildly while showcasing real martial arts. He became the model of an unpretentious, no-frills action hero, refusing to use stunt doubles in most dangerous scenes. The Crank series, Death Race, and then Fast and Furious from the 7th installment onward helped Jason conquer global audiences. He also became a staple in the Expendables series alongside Stallone and other action legends. Unlike many other stars, Statham doesn't need to change to keep up with the market. He maintains his identity, a strong, tough, and upright masculinity, and that is why he is loved across generations of audiences. Dangerous yet not chaotic, masculine yet not ostentatious. Before stepping into Hollywood, Jason Statham was a professional diver representing the British national team in international competitions for over a decade. At the 1992 World Championships in Madrid, he placed 12th, an impressive achievement especially without the backing of major sponsors. After retiring, Statham became a sports model and quickly caught the eye of director Guy Ritchie. His first role was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, 1998. Although it had a budget of just over $1 million, the film grossed over $28 million worldwide and paved the way for larger roles in the future. In 2002, Jason starred in The Transporter, an action series that catapulted him to global stardom. Unlike many actors, Statham prefers to perform over 90% of his stunts himself, developing a style of action that is real fast and unembellished with a distinctly European spirit. From The Transporter 2002-2008, $129 million Crank, 2006-2009, nearly $90 million to The Expendables, 2010-2023, $804 million, and Fast and Furious from the 7th installment onward, he continues to prove his appeal. Notably, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. 2019 grossed over $760 million worldwide. Even when venturing into the horror genre with The Meg, 2018-2023, Statham still made a splash at the box office with a global revenue of over $840 million. As of 2023, the films he has participated in have grossed over $5.1 billion worldwide. Although he did not go through formal film school, Jason Statham has established a solid position in Hollywood. In real life, he lives a low-profile life, cohabiting with model Rosie Huntington-Whiteley since 2010, has 2 children, and rarely gets involved in scandals. At the age of 57, he still maintains his fit physique, regularly releasing major action films each year, as if time cannot catch up with him. With a shaved head, a deep raspy voice, and a physique like a warrior, Vin Diesel does not represent the classic Hollywood beauty. Instead, he is an icon of modern masculinity, strong, straightforward, loyal, and associated with a single word: family. Born with the real name Mark Sinclair in California and raised in New York, Diesel began his career in the late 1980s. However, it wasn't until 2000 that he truly exploded with his role as Riddick in Pitch Black, a low-budget science fiction film, $23 million that grossed over $53 million and opened up an entire cinematic universe. However, the greatest turning point in Diesel's career came in 2001 with Dominic Toretto in The Fast and the Furious, a street racer who lives by principles, loyalty, and absolute devotion to family. Toretto is not just a character, he is a global pop culture icon. For over 2 decades, Diesel has appeared in 10 installments of the Fast and Furious franchise, helping the brand earn over $7.3 billion, making it one of the highest-grossing film series of all time. Although sometimes criticized for being illogical or unrealistic, this film franchise has maintained a loyal fan base thanks to the message of family that Diesel represents. In addition to Fast and Furious, Diesel has also established himself through other action roles such as Xander Cage in XXXX 2002-2017, which grossed $684 million worldwide. He is also the voice of Groot in the Marvel Universe, a character with few lines, but a tremendous impact. Vin Diesel does not need to diversify his image too much. He chooses to remain true to his identity, and that is what helps him endure in an ever-changing film world. He not only plays the role of the family man, he lives just like that both in films and in real life. After the success of Pitch Black 2000, Vin Diesel continued to establish his name with the Riddick Chronicles 2004-2013, a science fiction film series with its own loyal fan base, blending action philosophy and a very distinctive dark tone. In 2005, Diesel surprised many with his role in The Pacifier, a family comedy that was somewhat unusual compared to his typical image. But surprisingly, the film grossed $198 million, proving his diverse acting ability and willingness to take risks with himself. By 2014, Diesel took on a seemingly small role that had a huge impact, voicing Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy series 2014-2023. With just 3 words, "I am Groot," he created a global cultural icon, demonstrating that acting is not just about dialogue, but also about presence, emotion, and the soul of the character. As of 2023, films featuring Vin Diesel have grossed over $11.4 billion, placing him in the top 10 highest-grossing actors of all time, according to Box Office Mojo. In addition to his acting role, Diesel is also a producer and the founder of One Race Films, the company behind many installments of Fast and Furious, where he plays a key creative role, particularly in script development and the overall vision of the brand. Although he is an action star, Diesel lives a private life, has few scandals, and is known for his loyalty to friends. The relationship between you and Paul Walker, a friend and brother both on and off the screen, is remembered as a touching symbol of Hollywood friendship. At 57, Vin Diesel still maintains a muscular physique, continuing to perform breathtaking stunts without a double. He doesn't need a tailored suit or a brooding gaze. Diesel's beauty lies in his authenticity, resilience, and indomitable spirit, encapsulated in 2 words: strength. Mel Gibson, born in New York and raised in Australia, first gained international attention with Mad Max 1979, a post-apocalyptic film made on a budget of only $350, but grossing over $100 million, becoming a global phenomenon. The 1980s marked the golden era of Gibson through his role as Lieutenant Martin Riggs in the Lethal Weapon series 1987-1998. With the image of a reckless cop tormented by his past, yet still fighting for justice, Mel presented a complex, fully human hero rather than just a muscle-bound hero. The 4 Lethal Weapon films have grossed over $955 million worldwide and established Gibson as one of the biggest action stars in the world. Not stopping there, in 1995, he directed and starred in Braveheart, an epic tale about the Scottish warrior William Wallace, who inspired with the immortal line, "They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom." Braveheart won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, marking a turning point in his career and affirming Mel Gibson as a truly talented filmmaker. In 2004, he shocked the world with The Passion of the Christ, a completely independent film spoken in Aramaic, Latin, and Hebrew. Despite the controversy, the film grossed $612 million, becoming the 3rd highest-grossing independent film of all time and the most influential religious work of the 21st century. However, Mel Gibson also went through a career crisis due to controversial statements and personal scandals. But he made a remarkable comeback with Hacksaw Ridge 2016, a war film that received 6 Oscar nominations and won 2 awards, proving that true talent can overcome even the waves of boycott. At the age of 69, Gibson is still actively making films, especially in the action, epic, and religious genres, just as the creative spark within him has never dimmed. So we have revisited the most handsome actors of the 70s, 80s, and 90s together. Icons that have left a deep mark in the history of cinema and in the hearts of millions of viewers. From rugged masculine images to maturity and transformation over time, each of them has their own inspiring story and undeniable charm. If you find this video interesting and helpful, please hit the like button to support us and share it with more people. Don't forget to leave a comment about your favorite actor or suggest other names you would like us to explore in future videos. Thank you for joining us on this journey to reminisce and honor the legends of the silver screen. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on exciting content about the world of cinema and the famous stars. See you in the next video.